Yeah, as it says in the title, if anybody has any information about John Alexander Paterson, I made these signs last year. I don't know how I managed to make them, but basic. Oh, hang on. Connection unstable. Yeah. I made these signs last year. Don't know how. But when you put your mind to it, when you're being attacked, when you're being harassed, when you've been put through trauma-based mind control. And not to mention, of course, what's it called? Trauma bonding. In codependency. So I made a gold one and a silver one, and I was going to go to the protests. But it's great, isn't it? I've never made a sign before, and of course this one. Free all whistleblowers, close all Freemason lodges, end corruption. Well, it was John Paterson who said all the Freemason lodges need closing down. Yeah, and I met him in the psychiatric unit, and both of us had never met a victim of satanic ritual abuse before, and both of us did. Yeah, we're talking about someone who was actually sectioned by a Lewis Freemason, a woman from South Africa and I told her about Jeanette Archer, and she said, yeah, that's happened to me. She spoke to John Paterson. John Paterson showed us the legalese documents. I recorded the damning ward review. Sussex police had dragged me in there in handcuffs, and then 4 months later, I was arrested out of there in handcuffs for whatever reason. So that was just 1 month after John Paterson was disappeared out of there. And I'd gone to a lot of trouble to do something nice for Darren's 50th birthday. You tell me. Your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, PC Harriet with his colleague was laughing and said Darren's a knob. That made Darren scream and shout down the phone at me and leave me in tears in the hospital. And PC Harriet later said to me that he was there when Reese jumped off Beachy Head. This is one of the 169 patients who suicided in 2018, according to the Telegraph. And I was reported missing. I was reported missing because I went AWOL and I slept in fields near my mother's ashes. I went off on the cuckoo trail. I went out of town late at night. And and Reese jumped off Beachy Head where his brother jumped. It's a very small town where people know each other. The Riverbourne house, I was invited into the room of someone called, I won't say his name, but I remember him laughing and joking and saying, oh, look, Reese, he looks like a pallbearer. the way he's dressed, and he seemed really like me, someone who expressed themselves visually but quiet and sensitive. And he discharged himself and jumped off Beachy Head, where his brother jumped off our world famous suicide spot, just literally up the road, not too far, on the doorstep, our world famous suicide spot. I was reported missing in the Herald that year, before I was slandered last year. Sussex Police contacted my father, who doesn't live down here. He lives where I was born. And he said, Sussex Police contacted me. Is it attention seeking? And he's got no idea. And I haven't seen him since I was a child. And it's taken me until my late 30s to realise I'm a victim of trauma from when I was a baby. And what have they done? They pumped in more trauma. And I've done it without, I've got nothing to get off my head on, no drugs, no prescription medication, nothing like that. So, yes, meeting John Alexander Paterson and that South African lady, who not only had a South African accent, she had like a British elite accent, because it was the British elite aristocrats who did this stuff to her. She talked like that, how South Africans talk. I know, because I went there. My biological grandparents lived there. But it was also that with a little bit of, aristocratic, the aristocrats, how they talk like that. So a bit of both. Because the aristocrats are the ones who are doing to do the kind of stuff that Jeanette Archer talked about. I said to her, what, eating babies? And she was like, yeah. My Iranian lady friend said it tends to be the poor countries that do it. But it's not. Because it's gone on here in the UK. It's the British elitists. And me being trolled and having unknown numbers ringing me, and that nutcase whose name I won't mention again, just gives Jeanette Archer more credibility. What are you attacking me for? Because I'm saying how brave these people are. Because I'm saying how brave they are. And you're attacking a vulnerable, bereaved, suicidal woman for saying that these people are brave. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I'm just going to finish by saying, Shalom Shabbat, by the way, because it's now, it's midnight. We've gone beyond sunset. So Shalom Shabbat, Shalom Yahweh. As I said, yes, I really want to meet this Sussex Police whistleblower. That's one of the things I could tell him about John Alexander, about he's going to be doing some whistleblowing, and he might be able to help me with all the evil things I've been talking about, because it's the same venue that they're going to be talking about MK Ultra, the music industry, satanic ritual abuse, and it's going to be in a very nice stately home not too far from here. And I'm learning more all the time because of this other man that I'd really like to meet. And the lady I spoke to, right up my alley. Anyway, on that note, I shall finish by saying, I forgot to mention, I've been singing my Yellow Submarine songs. I forgot to mention, I've said it before, but Adamant's mother, because it's all to do with bloodlines. Madonna Madonna is related to lots of people in Hollywood, and Camilla. Yes, Camilla Parker Bowles. But the people often they don't have a choice. And if you sign on the dotted line, if you get into the music industry by way of talent or whatever, if you sign on that dotted line, they've got you for life. But but a lot of them, their parents are in the military, like Adamant. His dad was in the military, and his dad got done for being in the paedophile sex ring in Dolphin Square. And he did something with a minor in the late 80s or early 90s, which unfortunately, for some reason, it was to... My live stream is being tampered with. I said my live stream is being tampered with. Anyway, Adam, I don't care. You can tamper with it all you like, mate. You can do whatever you like. You can ring me. You can ring and ring and ring. You can tamper. Take off that thumbs up or whatever. By the way, I've worked it out. They're so unhappy in here. They need prayers. They have so many sock puppet accounts so that they can do lots of thumbs up and then do lots of thumbs down. I've worked it out. Okay. I'm still pretty new to YouTube and all this demented behavior, but I get it now. It's so sad. Live stream now. I just wanted to say Adamant's dad. Yeah, so he's an MK Ultra victim, and it's in the Prince Charming and the Baphomet and the disassociation and the smashing of the mirror. I accidentally broke my mirror when I was 11. They say 7 years bad luck. I was already into astrology, though. Not good. But, that's real, proper, full-on programming. And when they strapped him to a table and they injected him, and I bet that was done at the Tavistock Institute, like Jeanette Archer, because he grew up in St John's Wood. But anyway, no, his dad Adam's mum used to clean for Paul McCartney, and Adamant's mum has got a few things in common with my mother, because my mother, she used to clean for people. A very nice Scorpio man. He was like a grandfather to me. Like Adam, he wrote me a beautiful letter when I was 9. And yes, he was like a grandfather to me. He was a farmer. And my mother used to make clothes. In fact, actually, she was going to make me an Anne Boleyn costume when I was 12. I actually wrote to Jim will fix it, because my biological grandmother was related to Anne Boleyn, and that's why my middle name is Anna. I'm named after Anne Boleyn. But my mother was going to make me a costume, and she was always, since my mother was at school, she could make clothes. There wasn't anything my mother couldn't do. She could make her toys. She could do everything. She could paint. I want to get one of her things. No, I don't want to say it. Actually, I'm not going to say it. But I designed an adamant jacket for one of the conventions, and they actually nominated me as one of the best dressed, and I won a signed thing. It was an adamant jacket. The Puss in Boots You know what this means? That means a lady part. That is the man part. That's the lady part. Why do you think? It took me a long time. Once I'd woken up, and Karen is doing that. Because Puss in Boots, well, what's a lady part? Pussy. Yeah. And the visual flashing images as well, and the hand gestures. But I designed an adamant jacket with shoulder pads up here, and my mother got, we went out to this place out in the sticks where they've got loads of fabric. And funnily enough, in one of the cabinets was a handmade teddy bear, one of those beautiful antique looking teddy bears. And it was a girl I remember from primary school. She used to be in the folk group at my Catholic church, and she'd made one of these teddies, and my mother was like, well done to her. And I was a bit jealous because I was like, I can't make anything. I can craft, but I can't sew or anything. But my mother made me, I chose the jacket, I chose royal blue. And I've just noticed there were about 3 likes, and they're going up and down. There were 3 likes, it went down to 1, and now it's gone back to 2. I've just noticed. Weird. But anyway, yeah, it's gone from 1 to 3 now. I'm not bothered. Keep playing around. I'm not bothered. It must be hard work for them. But basically, I checked old ribbing. And my mother said, "Is that enough padding?" I said, "No, bigger shoulder pads. I want to be standing out like a sore thumb." So anyway, yeah, I got a signed picture of Adam. And of course, when I went to New York, I won the competition as well back in 2013 to the best dressed ant person in New York. Well, enough said about that. I won't go there. But should have been the best undressed. All that programming, all that MK Ultra sex kitten programming, beta sex kitten. Yeah, I wonder if Keith knows about that, because he worked on the Prince Charming video, and he said he helped train the panther. Well, that's beta sex kitten programming. And Adam did the Baphomet pose as Prince Charming. But yeah, no, connected up. It's about your connections. And Adam wanted to impress the Queen, and he was, the Skull and Crossbones Club. It's all going on. Even the punks. I actually looked up John Lydon, and he's one person that you think would be anti-establishment. No, he's not. He's not anti-establishment, because he's doing exactly what they all do. He's doing this. He's doing this, doing them all of them. It's everywhere. That's everywhere. And it took me a little while to realise that dance I did at the train station when I was waving goodbye to Stacey, the mother of what would have been my goddaughter. I met her at college, and on the platform I was going, "Look at me, I'm a drama queen, if that's your thing, maybe." But, again, she's showing she's in the club, but that's the same year I discovered Adamant. But then I had a massive poster of Leonardo DiCaprio doing that. It was right in my face, and I had posters of him everywhere. And I did look at the hand gestures and all of this and that, but it's subliminal. It's right in your face, but you can't see it because it's subliminal. But once you know, you can't unknow it. So, but yeah, Adam, I think my mother wrote a letter to Adam saying that he was a guardian angel for what he did for me. But yeah, she had a few things in common with his mother. My mother actually did a painting of the Queen on her coronation in 1950. When was it? 53. My mother was about 15. And it's amazing. My middle sister takes a photograph image, and she got a letter back, and the painting was sent back, and she said it was from her lady in waiting, saying Her Majesty thought you might like it back. My sister, I want a copy of these paintings, but we have not been in touch, and that's what I need help with. My sister has had a sex change. She's living as a man, and we both need trauma-based therapy. But that ain't going to happen because they're using it to control us. But yeah, once you know, you know. So, but yeah, I'd like a copy of those paintings. People used to say, "Oh, Bryony, you're amazing. No, you can draw. I can't. I can draw from my own imagination. I can't do that. You know, I draw from my imagination. I draw 80s and 70s. I draw punks and new romantics and things that people from my imagination, it would just come to me." And they said, my sister would be like, "Yeah, but I can't do that." And I'd be like, "But I can't do what you can do." You know, I proudly displayed in my bedroom a picture, her drawing of Bros when she was 14, and it looks like a photograph. I can't do that. Mine are more cartoon. They look real, but they don't look real because they're too, you know, they're not. I used to try and draw the head so that it goes. The head has to be able to go inside that part of the body. But I'm not anatomically correct. Anyway, that's enough ranting away. So it's rather interesting, though, that, yeah, I forget that Adam's mum used to clean for Paul McCartney, but he had connections. His grandfather was in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry anyway. His dad was in the military. But, you know, all that satanic stuff and the cultic stuff, it's all there. If you want success, if you want help, you know, it's, you know, that phrase, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. I now know where that phrase comes from because I was still a teenager when the Freemason said to me, when I worked at the garden centre, he said, if you ever want anything, just come to me. And that's after he'd immediately shoved his tongue in my mouth. And he was right up close. And it was kind of confusing because he'd said that he could be a surrogate father to me. But I didn't let on that I knew a few things too, even though I didn't know about the Freemasons back then. And he was older than my father. But the weirdest part of it is, how come he said to my mother he'd like to impregnate me in her kitchen? She told me this. No, he said that girl should be impregnated and I'd like to be the one to do it. And I was just thinking, I'm so glad I wasn't there because I would not like to have seen and heard what my mother would have said. She didn't tell me what she said, but it wouldn't have been a pretty sight, I can tell you that. But she said to me, how dare he say that in our house where you're safe? I thought, ooh. And I'm actually feel really angry because he should have said it to me and not my mother. How dare he say it to my mother? He can be as dirty as he likes with me, but don't you dare don't you dare talk to my mother like that. I'm her daughter. It's my fault that I allow, I was 18, 19. I allowed him to behave that way with me. Even my mother said to me, it can't be nice for his wife seeing you in his house. But I think this is where I was like this when I was a little girl. I could be easily led up. There's no such thing as, it's like Alice in Wonderland. There's no such thing as a sweet girl. Any nice girl can be led up the garden path. And I was. And I allowed myself. There's also this weird nice thing going on with me. Like I met a John yesterday, was it? Or the day before. I was in the shopping centre. And this John, it was a rather vulnerable John. I don't know what it is with Johns. If it's not John Boy, it's John Alexander Paterson. A lot of interesting Johns, even though John is like John Smith. There's a John everywhere, isn't there? Juan in Spain. In the UK, it's John Smith. In Ireland, is it Pat or Paddy something? And in Scotland, it's, I don't know. I've forgotten now what I've gone off on one. An old man sat down beside me yesterday in the shopping centre in the Arndale, the Beacon. I'll always call it the Arndale because I remember it from the 80s. So I'm going to call it the Arndale, not the Beacon. They've wasted a lot of money on it. Millions on it. It's just these councillors, honestly. Oh, yeah. Talking of councillors, Councillor Stephen Holt walked right past me yesterday where the little children's rides were. Oh, I even had a dream about it. I had a dream about him and his arrogance. Just walked right past me and I thought, do you want to say something? In the same way, I thought to myself, shall I say something to Northern John from Charles Lucas Property Management? No, I just gave him a look. All these scumbags. Councillor Stephen Holt had his face on a leaflet at the property. What was it? He took over from Councillor Alan Shuttleworth as Cabinet for Community Housing, but it was Cabinet for Community. Yeah, and a property where I've been attacked and had my bedroom window smashed, attacked by several licensees, and where I thought I was going to be killed. But I somehow managed to make these signs. Yeah, close down their secret club. I wanted to go to the London protests last year with these signs, but I wouldn't have been able to hold all three of them. I'm a very strong woman, yes. There's someone who's a little bit jealous, a little bit bitter. Oh, I don't know. Stick to trolling. That's all you're good for. I can laugh about attempted rape. I can deal with abusive relationships after losing my soulmate mother, and I'm still here. There was a Facebook post, I can't remember who put it up, but it's about basically saying if you sorry about the lipstick mark. Someone said they had the Queen come round for tea and they kept her lipstick mark on the cup and saucer. I think I'd do the same as well. But then now I know what I know. Anyway, so what was I saying? So yeah, basically, I would have gone to the protests with those signs. It was so worn down, you know, when you're just struggling at a basic level. What did that Facebook post say? Basically, the Facebook post said, you know, words to the effect, it's not about what you, how much money you've got or what, you know, that kind of, you know, the shallow worldly things and all of that. It's about all the good, you know, the small things, just all the kind acts that you've done, that they're all going to be the ones in, you know, in the next life or whatever. And just think of all those lost souls, that trolling is their only, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So one of my good deeds was giving my time to a South African man yesterday called John, who sat down with me and he said to me, "You look shattered." I think he had some sort of mental health issues. He was vulnerable anyway, and he was really banking on me, well, expecting me to text him and help him, and you know, I think he's what you call Cape coloured, because when we went to Cape Town, because he's neither black or white, and in Cape Town you've got Cape coloured in between. They're neither black nor white. They're Cape coloured. But bless him, yeah, no, he was neither black or white, but he was South African. He was from Durban. And I said, "Oh, I've been to," he said, "I love traveling. I'm going to Sweden." He said, "I had money put in my bank. It was a scam, but no, I had money put in my bank and it was from a Heavenly Father." I said, "Oh," I said, "I know what you're saying, because I found the odd £10 note and the odd £20 and the odd £5 note, particularly in the last few years throughout all this hell. And I'd taken photographs of them. And even Darren said to me, 'Why are you taking pictures of them?' I said, 'Because they're gifts from above.' Once got out of a taxi and there was a £20 note in the puddle as I was getting out of the taxi. And I now want to use that money for something memorable. So I want to put the money towards the Hebrew Aramaic Scriptures Bible, the Bible that Darren's got. So, and of course I bought that machata, which is a head covering for ladies to show your allegiance to the Father Yahweh. And a mantle is a machata. I forgot what I was going to say now. But this man, this South African man, I said, "Oh, I've heard of Durban. We might have even gone through Durban. We went through a shanty town. We went to. I know that my biological grandparents lived in George, and yeah, it was quite. Really, we put our lives on the line, me and my sister. My sister did one of the world's biggest bungee jumps. We both stroked a cheetah. And actually, someone who liked adamant in the adamant community was actually killed by a cheetah. Interestingly, it's dangerous. The animal handler basically said to me and my sister, they left us alone in the cage with the cheetah, and they said, if you step on its tail, you've had it. You step on its tail, you've had it. I don't know if riding an ostrich, that was scary. I don't know if that was cruel. I did feel a bit uncomfortable with it. Didn't feel natural because I did have an African lady said to me, no, that's cruel. That's cruel. Because they do ostrich races. I mean, again, though, we're probably, I'm more scared of the ostrich than it is of me. I mean, they can kill you with it. With one kick in the stomach, they could kill you, an ostrich. And we were going to go deep sea diving in a cave, like in Jaws. That was the thing, because I've got a thing about going underwater, but we didn't because the water was too choppy. But my sister did one of the world's biggest bungee jumps, and she likes doing things like that. She likes jumping out of aeroplanes and anything that's death-defying. And she's got a motorbike. She's living as a man. She does manly stuff. But she was like, yeah, she went over the handlebars of a motorbike once. She's very. I mean, I think they're brave just to drive a car, but that's me. I'm just, I do it all visually. Yeah, there's no consistency with me. I think that's why people don't know how to take me. I don't know how to take me, but there we are. Trauma can make you do. I mean, I can scratch myself with a knife, and then I actually cinched a knife because it was all that rage and pain and anger. That's what I mean. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I've said it and I'll say it again, even though it's not biblical. So I've gone off on one, but South Africa. In Florida, we held an alligator, but we went to a crocodile park. They weren't even behind cages. There was a small wall. I looked over the wall and they all went whoosh. We're quite blessed with the things we've seen and things we've done. Oh yeah, but I'm such a discovery girl. I'm like a child. I take me down to a rock pool and I'm like, starfish and crabs. But up on Table Mountain, I lifted up the rocks because I wanted to see what was underneath, because I'm like a child inside. And there were these white scorpions. And I told an African lady at the care home I worked at, she said, you shouldn't do that. There could be scorpions underneath. I said there were. But I don't think I realise. I don't know. I just like people worry about me when I walk out at night. My father said, you shouldn't go for a walk on your own in South Africa. It's not like back home. Connection unstable. Yeah, right. being tampered with again. Tampered with, like I care. Anyway, this was going to be a quick live stream. It's already been 40 minutes. So, yeah, but I thought you could just go for a walk. No, you can't just go for a walk in South Africa. If there aren't dangerous people around, it's wild animals. But I thought to myself, but this, we're in a part of South Africa where they've all been killed. You have to see them behind cages now, because in this part of Africa they've been hunted. You had to go to an elephant park because the elephants have been hunted, and there weren't many there. Because I thought, I wonder if it's going to be like the Lion King, but it's not. No, it's. But even so, my grandfather said she's a brave girl, what a brave lady. And my grandfather, he talked like that. He was like a very talk like that. Very. He sounded very upper middle class. I was more. In all honesty, I was more scared of meeting him and my adoptive grandmother, because he said to my mother he didn't want to meet us. He said he wanted to meet us, then he didn't want to, then he did. And my mother was like, oh my gosh, that just made me more anxious. That's why the picture of me with them, I'm like, because I'm nervous. Oh, so you're the model. No, I didn't want to do child modelling. Oh, no, the connection's unstable. Connection's unstable. I'm not going to talk until it's... It's unstable. It's unstable. The connection is unstable. I might as well just shut it down. I might as well end the live stream because the connection's unstable. Yeah, but anyway, that's basically it. Anyway, I'm going to shut this down. I don't know if my voice is going to come out or not, but the connection's unstable. Anyway, I've said everything I wanted to say about my experience of South Africa. Oh yeah, and the rock dassies on Table Mountain. I don't know if anyone can hear what I'm saying, because I don't know if the live stream is being tampered with, but it's saying that it's unstable. So, but rock dassies, those cute little strange things furry things on Table Mountain, they're related to the elephant, rock dassies. And basically, when the tablecloth is on Table Mountain, the clouds, that's when the clouds are on it. So it's like you're going into a cloud. They call it the tablecloth, and it's like going into a storm. If you've ever been inside a cloud, it's just, you can't see anything. It's all white and you can't see, it's all misty and it's just like rain. But I saw a family of rock dassies. We came down in the cable car and I was like, we're not going to do that again. And I'm just, look like a drowned rat. But anyway, this man, John, this old man, John, he showed me a picture of, he said he wants me to help him with an Amazon account. He follows a man, and he showed me a picture of this man on his phone, a black guy who is some sort of pastor or preacher, but he's a spiritual man. I hope he's not a false prophet. You've got to be so careful of people. But he was saying to me, he said don't stop being sweet. He said, I'm going to go see my sister in Heathfield. And he took my hand. I said, he said, you look tired. I've been going through a hard time. He said, no worry. I know someone who can help you. And I think he had mental health issues. So vulnerable, maybe. I shouldn't really say that. Well, we've all got mental health in our own way. I haven't texted him, but he insisted on giving me a yogurt pot. And I said, I'll pray for you. So I've got a lot of people on my prayer list. Juliet, and I forget about Amira as well, my Iranian lady friend. She's a Muslim, but the Muslim people see lots of different people as prophets. So they do see Yahushua as a prophet, but I don't want to say anything that's going to upset anyone, but Islam is going to be Darren has done the research, I haven't. It's meant to be the final enemy of because the thing is, we're talking about false religions that's in the Bible, but it's not about religion, it's about the way, and there's only one way, the straight and narrow path. Narrow is the path to life and salvation. Wide is the path to destruction. So I noticed that they're gone. It's funny that, because at one point I had 3 likes that went down. Oh, yeah, see, 4 likes. Anyone who's watching, 3 likes. Are you going to go up or are you going to go down? We're currently on 3 likes. Are you going to delete a like? No, you've added a like, 4 likes. Are you going to go back down again? Because there were 3 likes and then you went down to 1 like. There were 3 likes. You went down to 1. Oh, we've got 5 likes now. And now we've got 4. And now we've got 5. Now we've got 4. Now we've got 6 likes. Come on. Now we've got 3 likes. So you've got sock puppet accounts, have you? We've got 6 likes now. Got sock puppet accounts. We've got 6 likes again. Now we've got 4 likes. You see, there are trolls with sock puppet accounts. Liking, unliking, adding likes, taking likes. Oh, you're busy, 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 aren't you? Busy, 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 busy. 6 likes. I couldn't care less. Oh, 7 likes. I tell you what, you keep going when I've ended the live stream and see if I care. Because I can have all the people in the world give me a thumbs down and I'd still be saying the same thing. 5 likes, 6 likes. Are you going to go up or down? Are you going to minus or take away? Go and see a psychiatrist. That's like the text message I got from Dan. Go and see a psychiatrist. Yeah, well, one of your lady friends has just said it all about you, Dan. Oh, 8 likes. 7 likes. Anyway, there we go. That's 51 minutes. I don't think this is all going to come out because there's an unstable connection. It's being severely tampered with. And yeah, doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to just hold these up. And Shalom, Shabbat, John Paterson, I believe you. And it's just a shame. I'm just going to hold these up before I end the live stream. Shalom, Shabbat, Yahweh blessings to John Alexander Paterson. I might come back and have a look tomorrow, just out of interest. 5 likes, 7 likes, 8 likes, 6 likes, 3 likes, 4 likes, 5 likes. You're adding them and deleting them, and I'm not bothered. It's interesting. I'm just going to carry on. I'll keep calling it out, but I will just carry on saying the same, doing my live streams. But maybe I'll make a live stream just about that. Okay.